Hello, everybody. There's another video about healthy lifestyle, and today we have a special guest, Dr. Daniela Farkas. And today we'll talk about artificial sweetener. Is it good or is it bad? Hello, Dr. Farkas. Thank you for joining.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
What about artificial sweetener? Is it good or is it bad?
Okay. Artificial sweeteners were made in order to curb the amount of sugar we consume. So the thought behind it was unbelievable good. However, what happened? The first artificial sweetener that came to the market was approved in 1980. It was aspartame. What is aspartame? It was discovered in Germany in 1956 by a scientist that was doing something completely unrelated. And by mistake, he mixed formaldehyde with wood alcohol or ethyl alcohol. And this substance came that was white, and he was intrigued. He tasted it, and it tasted very sweet. So what did he thought? Oh, this we could replace sugar with this stuff because it's so sweet and it has no calories, or just about none. So the idea was unbelievable good. He passed it through the FDA because it was true. It didn't have calories. It's much sweeter than sugar. You only need to use couple of, specks of it, and like in the coffee or something. And he said, well, this way we're gonna help people that have a sugar addiction. What happens? You put Splenda or aspartate into the coffee, and the two molecules that it's made of, it decomposes into heat because it's not stable into hot heat. Coffee, usually we drink it hot. So guess what it's decomposed into? Into wood alcohol and formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, and wood alcohol is it's a substance that has 1,000 times more affinity than oxygen for uh, red blood cell, for hemoglobin. So you take a little bit, and what it does, it cuts that red blood cell capacity to carry oxygen. It's not only that it's gonna stay there for a couple of uh, minutes, but it stays for a couple of days, rendering that red blood cell ineffective. On the other hand, it makes sure that it poisons you with the formaldehyde. If somebody would be given formaldehyde as a sweet substitute, how many of us, knowing that we eat formaldehyde, we put formaldehyde in the coffee? Uh, that's number one hit. Number two hit, when we put something very sweet in the body, in the mouth, there are receptors, and the receptors feel that there is sugar coming and starts to dump insulin. So
Mhm.
insulin is dumped instantly in the bloodstream. Well, what happens? Sugar never comes, but the brain says, "Oh yes, it did come because the receptors in the mouth told me that you ate sugar." So the brain is gonna send signals to the stomach, get hungrier, and ask for more food because none of the sugar made it to me, to the brain, none of the glucose. So the person, instead of eating less, his own body will send information via hormones to eat more in order to satisfy the sweet craving of the brain. And in this respect is better. So in one side it would poison us. On the other insult, it would cut the oxygen supply to every red blood cell that it comes in contact. And number three, it makes you hungrier. Therefore, you're gonna consume more food together with aspartame, which will be a continuous loop of closed loop. And in this respect, it has a three punch, not one punch of being bad. Uh, it is as bad as sugar is, is better than the substitutes. Now,
Yeah.
there are substitutes that are not made in the lab. For example, there are something called stevia. Stevia is a root from the stevia plant that is made as a flour, and it's extremely sweet. It's about 300 times more sweet than sugar. But because it's a natural substance and you only use a little bit, it's something made by nature that will not be as damaging at all as aspartame. Another one that is very good is monk fruit substitute. Monk fruit has a couple of other um, um, benefits. One of it is stops glycosylation, which we did talk in another episode. So monk fruit pretty much inhibits the reaction that takes place into the glycosylation pathway, and it's good. But again, that is made by Mother Nature, not by a lab. And when you ask, is it good or is it bad? You need to specify which sugar substitute. If you do not know uh, where the artificial sweetener comes from, don't use it. If it is natural and made by nature, use it. Then it's good.
So between artificial sweetener and sugar, it's more.
The artificial sweetener, it's a lot worse than the sugar. The natural sweetener that are sweeter than sugar are very good. The artificial sweeteners are not good at all. Not good because they are made in the lab and they pretty much all cause cancer. Actually, what happened in 1980, aspartame was approved in United States. The following year, it was considered that it was an increase in brain cancer of 800% in United States. I do not know how it is in other countries, but to have an increase of 800% in a country from one year to the other after you introduce a food, it's it's not something you cough about. It's not something you want to deal with, because you wanted to help yourself by cutting sugar, and instead of eating sugar, you cause cancer.
Yeah. Why some sugar substitutes are bad and some are good?
It depends who makes them. So if Mother Nature makes something that is sweet, like honey, like monk fruit, like they have now a new one that is made from leaves. If it is made from the nature, not by 2 3 chemicals mixed together in a lab, use it. It is good. If it if a lab makes it, and they could produce about the supply to poison the whole planet in one day, don't use it. Don't use it, regardless if it's sweet or not. No, the sugar is not made even. The regular sugar that we consume here in the United States usually comes from uh, uh, beets, or it comes from sugar cane. Right next to us in Florida, there are plantations of sugarcane. This is like the sugarcane of the whole United States. uh, and a lot of sugar is made here. And it's very cheap. I mean, billions of dollars, not millions. And of course, the agricultural industry and the food industry is going to try to push sugar because it's cheap. It's cheap to make, it's sweet, and if you add sugar, because sugar is addictive, you're gonna consume more and more in any food that you put it in. And in United States, sugar is in everything. It's in any meat that you buy, in any breads, in any. I don't know a product that doesn't have sugar in it. Cereals, uh, breads, uh, cold cuts, French fries. I mean, everything has sugar. And it's very intentionally put there in order to make people addictive. And they are. It worked at the expense of fat being deposited on people left and right. I mean, we are um, a nation of obese, lazy people. And part of it is our blame, but part of it is what is fed to us. Because we were told that this is not the enemy, sugar is not, it's the lack of exercise. This is partial truth.
So, as a conclusion, should I consume substitutes or should I choose sugar, regular sugar?
If the substitute is made in the lab, make sure you do not consume it. If the substitute of the sugar is made by Mother Nature, like honey, consume it. So it's not such a clear cut. You have to do your homework. Again, the best weapon we have is education. You have to do your homework to find out whatever you consume, where is it coming from. So once you know that, you will know how to protect yourself.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you, Dr. Farkas, for your time, and we'll see again in another video about healthy lifestyle.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very much.
much and have a wonderful day. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.